Well, I thought we were excellent defensively from the midway through the first half through the game. We challenged passes. We were really we talked about being sticky. Their younger guys are very aggressive, but in that aggressiveness, they try to score. The guy who has the ball tries to score, and we talked about really being in there, whether we could deflect the ball or make them off balance and make it hard for them to score. I thought we did a great job of that for the last 30 minutes of the game, and then of course we moved the ball really well beginning of the second half, made a lot of threes, which broke the game open. So really proud of the road win and looking forward to Friday night.
Could you say a word or two about Tyler Burton? Struggled the last 4 or 5 games, struggled most of the first half, but really came on after hitting that 3 at the halftime horn.
Yeah, he did. I was just saying on the radio, so you never know in basketball. You never know what's going to get you going or get in your head in a negative way, because there's so many things that happen during the course of a game, so many things you're trying to concentrate on. I don't know. He's done that a couple of times. He's made that shot before the halftime buzzer, and that really did seem to give him some life and some juice. I thought he played great in the second half. He had 12 rebounds. I've really been telling him to block out everything except, just try to have 6 rebounds at halftime. And if you do that, everything will take care of itself. He's obviously potentially an elite rebounder, and he shows that sometimes. He showed that tonight. And to me, that's the most important thing. When he rebounds the ball, everything will fall into place. And I think that's where I'd like his mindset to be, is attacking the basketball off the backboard.
Coach Mooney, the Spiders are now halfway through their A-10 schedule. I wonder if you might sort of look back and look ahead and assess where you are.
Yeah, well, we've had some, we've had, 2 really, really tough losses at home, heartbreaking losses at home to 2 very good teams. And so in that regard, hopefully that, one play here or there in those games, maybe we win those games. In that regard, though, I think that has a way of toughening you up and making you kind of continue to aggressively play and try to fix things that are a little bit wrong. If Jacob's shot goes in at the end of the game against VCU, maybe we have a little bit different mindset. We're not attacking it as much, and we're looking forward. These next few games are going to go on upon us quickly. We're looking forward to them, and we feel like we have a lot of good basketball and have played good basketball, and maybe we can force some of our own luck, some of our own good fortune here in the second half of the conference season.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win tonight.
Thanks, Sean.
Hey, how important was how you won tonight as opposed to the fact that you did win tonight?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think to have a game where, I think we took Grant out maybe with 10 minutes to go, maybe it was 9 minutes to go in the game. Jacob came out of the game first time in a while, and then to win the game, and, you're kind of salting it away with good defense and stops, and then hopefully good possessions on offense. We had a nice late possession where Matt Grace hit Isaiah. So you're playing that game with some confidence. You're playing that game under control to close it out, and that's a great feeling. So many teams are in college basketball. You get on stretches where you play every single game is so intense in the last minute, and we're no exception. We've had plenty of those. So to play a game where you're trying to salt away the win and make sure you handle everything that they might throw at you, but you're in control, feels good for us.
What was the difference in the 22-4 run in the second half, or to start the second half?
Well, I think in the first half we were just a little bit sped up. They extended their defense, extended their pressure, and that was a good strategy and had a little bit too much of an effect on us, I thought. I thought in the second half we were still aggressive. You're always trying to balance that fine line of staying aggressive but being under control. It's like when you drive in there and there's a defender, you've been aggressive, and now you have to be under control when you go to try to make the shot or the pass. I think that was really key for us. We maintained our aggressiveness, but we were a little bit more under control The ball moved really nicely. We made shots, I think as a result of that, because they were open because of the movement of the ball and the movement of our offense. So I would say those were the things. That was the biggest difference.
You mentioned briefly about so many games coming up for you guys in such a short time span. I think it's like 5 games in 8 days or something like that. How you try to keep the guys fresh, but still kind of, keep them on the game plan to get ready for game starting against St. Bonaventure Friday.
Yeah, that's really difficult. This is obviously, it's just a difficult stretch. And I know probably most teams are in something like this during the course of the year, but it's a difficult stretch. And I really think the key is hopefully it helps having a veteran team that, I remember we've had young teams and you're just, as a coach, you're anxious to get them on the court and have them, be on the court and telling them what was wrong and correct those mistakes with lots of reps on the court. Hopefully with a veteran team, you can more suggest something or put it on the board or watch the video. So hopefully we can save some of our energy just by doing that, by not having to be on the court quite as much as we would if we were a younger team.
I was going to ask, was it more film work the rest of the way, or do you try to, how often do you get them on the floor to work as opposed to being in the film room?
Yeah, well, that's what we'll try to limit as much as we can. We'll try to limit how much we're on the floor. So if we have a 2-day prep, we'll be on very, very lightly the 2 days out and then a regular practice the day before. And I think that's how we'll try to do it. Obviously, the next week, it's really tricky, health and well-being.
Yes.
Next week, it's really tricky because of all the games on top of one another.
Could you discuss the first 8 minutes of the second half and what allowed Richmond to quickly pull away during that time period?
Just energy, I think. We came out with a lot of energy. We came out with a lot of toughness. We got a couple stops on defense and a couple easy scores, and they kind of just called the time. You always want to make a team call a quick timeout, and that's what we made them do.
Mm-hmm. How about your personal comeback here? You had a few rough ones, but in sort of a rough first half. But after you hit that 3 to end the first half, it seemed to spark your game.
Yeah, I just wanted to see one go in. It's felt like a lifetime ago where one went in. But a rough shooting night against VCU the other night, but and a rough shooting first half. But one thing I came to the bench and everyone just keep on shooting. That's what they were preaching in practice. Keep on shooting. Don't lose your confidence. And I just tried to follow my teammates.
If I could ask one more about big picture, that's 9 down and 9 to go in the A10. How about assessing where the Spiders are as you head into the second half here?
Yeah, locked in. Can't get too high, can't get too low. That's the good thing about basketball. You make a mistake, you can come back the next day and correct it. You can come back 2 days later and actually get a game and correct it in front of people. And then same thing with the win. We got a good win tonight. We got a tough one on Friday against St. Bonaventure.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Hey, Tyler, I got a question for you. The 22-4 run in that second half, defensively, what was working for you guys in that span?
Yeah, I think we were just playing tough defense, and then they were getting agitated, really frustrated, started yelling at one another, started taking pretty bad shots. And I think we just kind of chipped away and just kind of just were a little gnat to them the entire time. You
mentioned your confidence didn't waver, during this stretch where the shots weren't falling. A game like this, how big was it for you personally to finally get back to the Tyler Burton of old?
Pretty important. It's not guaranteed every game. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm in a flow, but I'm definitely going to build upon this and try to get back to the way I was playing before and just help this team win. You mentioned briefly about St. Bonaventure, the game Friday night at the Robins Center. Just your early thoughts about that matchup moving forward. Yeah, big one. We lost it last year on a buzzer beater. It was a tough one. We know they're a tough team. They got tough players. They got really good players, and I'm ready for a good battle.